Gimble, come feel there. Rock a band and I like Tupac, I've been there.
What's going on, Gooners and Goonerettes? Welcome back to the channel, everybody. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please hit that subscribe button and like this video. It really helps the channel out. And thanks for everyone who participated last night in our Premier League preview. It was really funny. We had 9 of the 101 guys who came on to give their views and opinions. So if you haven't seen that video, please go and check it out. I'll leave it in the description after this video. But this week, the season opens. I've been really looking forward to it. A lot of us have. They don't get much of a break, do they, these players? 2 or 3 weeks maximum at the most. But yes, last week, after lifting another trophy at Wembley, Arsenal began their bid for Premier League supremacy. I believe, as I said last night, that they have strengthened. But I can't see that City have. I think City is kind of there or thereabouts. But then they were so good last season that, you know, they're going to be there. And they're going to be the team for everyone to beat this season. They claim the Community Shield for the 17th time now. Only Man United have won it more. They've won it 21 times. So it's been a big summer for Arsenal with Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, Yuri Timber, and David Raya has just signed in pursuit of the big one. Now, last season, Arsenal beat Forest 5-0 at home, and they lost at the City Ground in May. And by that time, injuries had plagued them, and losing the title really just mentally killed the Gunners' mindset at the end of last season. But Steve Cooper's side deservingly won and retained their Premier League status by beating Arsenal. Now look at the injuries, guys. He'll spend the next few weeks recovering from a knee operation. He should be back by the 3rd game because we got some good news that the injury wasn't as bad as they first thought. El Nene, who also had the same injury, he's been doing some light training, but he's still recovering from his own knee procedure and he could be out for another month. Along with that, Zinchenko's a calf issue. He's coming back from that. He played a brief cameo in that game that was happened a couple of days ago, the game for Ukraine, before sitting out at the Community Shield. Alongside Reece Nelson. Reece Nelson has had a toe injury, but both are back in training and doing light training. So expect them to at least come back by the 2nd or 3rd game. Now, Lokonga, Jorginho and Balogun's had a foot issue, are still a bit short for this game. So again, look forward for them guys making it back in week 2 against Palace. As for Forest, Brennan Johnson made his comeback off the bench in the draw against Frankfurt, but he may not be considered for a starting role just yet in this one. Now, Felipe might be back on the bench. He had a knee problem. Also, Musa Nikati and Wayne Hennessy and Omar Richards are all likely to miss out as well. So Forest have their own injury woes and problems. And remember, they don't have a huge squad. But Arsenal sold Matt Turner to Forest in a $7 million deal and should also make his debut against his old club. Now, for me, guys, just want to talk about Arsenal for a second. And they're dominating the most valuable player list. And this is based on the CIES Football Observatory list for transfer values. And Arsenal currently have 6 of the most 20 valuable Premier League players based on that list. And I think Man City and Liverpool have got 5 each. So Arsenal have got more players. They've got more players in the top 25. And also, they were all born after 1997 or later. So this means that they're under the age of 25, have not even hit their peak yet. So look, having a great first 11, guys, we all know it's not enough to win the Premier League these days. Man City can bring world-class players off the bench. I know they just lost a few of them. Mahrez. They are desperate to keep Bernardo Silva. If they lose him, not so much Kyle Walker, but if they lose Silva, then they're really going to struggle. They already look like a different team without Gundogan and Mahrez in there. So look, I don't think that Man City have strengthened. And I think that this season I've gone for Arsenal to win the title. Now for me, guys, injuries and fatigue is what's been plaguing Arsenal over the last few seasons. So I'm expecting them to really sort of kill that by having the strength in depth that they currently have. And just talking about what they have, Yuri Timber, he's just absolutely a beast. Incredibly strong on the ball. He's composed. He gets forward. I don't think offensively he's as good as Zinchenko getting forward, but he's twice the player defensively. And that absolutely is an incredible thing for Arsenal to have. and because of the way that they can consistently put pressure on teams and beat the press. Now, Declan Rice, he's been getting slammed by some of our fans, but he made some fantastic recoveries in pre-season and against Man City, and overall he's made us more defensively sound in transition, and he will get better once he understands his duties in this new system. Now, we can see against Man City, Arsenal normally press for hell leather. Yeah, they probably go all out and dominate teams. But against Man City, you saw Arsenal's press was effective because it was situational. You saw they held Saliba, held Haaland with an XG of 0.00. So you could see it's something that they're building. You know, we talked about Yuri Timber, just talked about Declan Rice, Kai Havertz after missing out with Chelsea last season in a miserable campaign where he scored 9 goals and had an XG of 14.5 in all competitions. Havertz was presented against 2 good chances to score within the opening 40 minutes against Man City. And while he didn't score the goals, it shows that he's adapted getting in those positions and holding up the ball with Arsenal. Now, Arsenal overall, guys, have spent 240 million. That's nearly £250 million. And they have to justify that investment with their results. And that shift in mentality against City can show that Arsenal has responded in many ways more than one to take City on this season. And there were times where City was struggling to even get the ball. City ended up with 55% possession and Arsenal 45%. That's the lowest in possession that City has had over Arsenal in the last 5 years. So we could see Arsenal played with, at times, 3 defenders playing inverted and pushing back, and they held City back. And look, this was an acceptance that Arsenal were not inferior to City. And for me, Arteta has evolved and the shackles have been released. He has more experience, Arteta, more tools, and a bigger squad to work with. And in pre-season, we saw it was a tactical experiment that he was working with. And with these acquisitions this summer, they're getting a lot out of these guys, and it's going to take them a bit of time to get the gel together. So we'll know really in the first 3, 4, 5 games how this thing is going to really pan out. So that's it, guys. I am going for a prediction of 3-0 to Arsenal. I think it's going to be Ramsdale. I think Ben White's going to start. I think it's going to be Saliba, Gabriel. It's going to be Timber on the left wing. And I think midfield is going to be the Odegaard, Partey and Rice midfield, which we've all talked about. And I think it's going to be a tough one. I think it's going to be Nketiah, Trossard and Saka. But there's so many different ways that we can go. We could play Havertz. We could start Trossard. I personally would start Trossard. That's what I would do. But I think for us guys overall, the biggest problem for Arsenal has been keeping clean sheets. As I said, don't worry about the goals. Arsenal broke a franchise record of 88 goals last season. Goals is the last thing we need to worry about. The problem we had last season was in the last 15 games, we only kept 2 clean sheets. And that is a major problem for us, especially at the Emirates. So this, I think, is where, in terms of Nottingham Forest, their attackers have yet to hit full fitness, which means I think that Arsenal should win by a clear 3 or 4 goals. Now, the game is scheduled for a 12:30 lunchtime start. In the UK, the game will be televised on TNT Sports. That's the new name for BT Sport 1. So if you're already a subscriber to BT Sports via EE, like I am, the provider, or have a monthly pass, the service will continue just under a new name. So let me know, guys, in the comment section below what your predictions are, including you Forest fans. Let me know what your predictions are as well. And guys, Tony's going to head up the live stream watch along for that day. I will be at the Emirates, so I'll be doing my own game vlog when I'm out there. And guys, I will speak to you in the next one. Peace out, everybody. And don't forget the Premier League show on Friday kicks off, where we have a look at all the upcoming games for the weekend. Speak to you guys later, man. Peace out. Love you like cooked food.
I'm tryna be a black king, yeah. I'm tryna be a black king, yeah. MLK, Jay-Z, MJ, I'm tryna be a black king.